Well, I think you might have known that our team is changing during the during the tour. So we have different people coming on and off the boat. And luckily for leg 2 and leg 3, we're having the same team. So leg 2 for us was again a little bit of a search. Who are these guys? What are they doing? Where can we best use them? And how do we get the communication to work properly with everybody? So in leg 3, we're definitely proceeding with that. And I think in general, every hour we get on the boat is just a huge learning opportunity for us. And sailing against all these guys, the choices they make, we're constantly reflecting on them, constantly reflecting on our own. So plenty of learning and things we can take to the next leg. I think we've definitely, unless you look at the results, because we won the first one and the second one we didn't win. But I think in general, in the way we're sailing, we're learning lots. And of course, the changing team takes a little bit out of the steep learning curve, but I think at the end we're doing an amazing job with keeping up with our progress. I think the mat in this time of the year is always tricky, so that's saying one thing ahead. But as it looks now, we have a low pressure system that we're playing with, a high pressure system that we're playing with, so I think it's going to be actually a lot of strategical decisions and keeping the boat fast through all those transitions. So I think it's going to be the most challenging leg till now. I think if the weather models don't turn out as they are, there's most often a logical way why it's doing that. And we just have to find out that way and proceed with that. So I think it's always, it's at the end it's basic physics. And sometimes you cannot explain it yet. But that's the learning moments that you'll be able to figure out later why it happened. And to be honest, I think that's where the real skill from the sailors come in. Because it's easy to follow a line on the screen, but it's more difficult if actually something else is happening. And I think that's the real fun part of sailing. I think on our boat we have a relatively high amount of dinghy sailors, which are used to, you see is what you get. And we've actually been learning a lot about from the Van Dijk guys, from the IMOCAs, doing the long-term strategy more and just looking at the weather models. So we're just trying to find that balance between you see is what you get and what are we going to get in the next 4 to 5 hours. I think for us, honestly, we're not looking too much at the rest of the fleet. Of course, our sportsman's heart wants to win and we will be a little bit sad if we don't. But I think our main focus is just to sail as best as we could and look at our own progress, look at our own work in the boat, and if we're happy with that, then we're going to be very happy with the leg. And looking at all the CVs that are on our left, I think we have the least CV. We don't have the A4, so we're definitely going to sail a different race than the others. We have to make different choices because we cannot come VMG downwind as easy as they are. So I think the only logical way is to look at ourselves. So most of the guys here have went around the world at least a couple of times. We didn't yet. So I think there's a lot of experience on the boats and we just are a little bit younger.